Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Monday, December 14th, and we are going to be continuing this week with different holiday activities and skills reinforcement as we kind of wind up this month before our winter break. So you'll notice from today's slide, again, while we are waiting for class to begin, if you are in the Zoom or in the future when you come to the Zooms, making sure that if you're waiting for me to admit you to the room or before we start, you can always be working on your bell work. Now again, today you'll need your charged iPad. Make sure you have your binder with your bell work in it. You have a pencil. You'll be needing to probably write some things down, especially for your bell work. And then your independent reading book as you move into the next part of your day. So the agenda today is do again the daily check-in. We are now doing week 12, day 1 bell work. And if you go into Schoology, you can see there is an assignment for it. You can just attach a copy or a picture of your work and it will be graded from there. So today your activity is holiday activity number 3, and we're going to be working on some parts of speech, and we're going to really focus on nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and you'll be doing some of those grammar cards for your assignment after we go through today's lesson. And then the second part of Read 180, you'll do your 20 minutes of software and your independent reading. And remember, at the end of the week, this week you should have at least a minimum of 100 minutes logged for software. You will get graded accordingly to how many minutes you have put in to software for the week. And then again, keeping your reading log up to date with the pages that you're reading every day. All right, so today's learning target is you'll be able to identify nouns, verbs, and adjectives in sentences. And always a reminder, please check your student view for any missing work or just to make sure your grades are in there. If you have any questions, you can always get a hold of me. All right, so we are on countdown to winter break. And if you look, we are on 8 days to go till we have Christmas break. Now you'll see today's puzzle is a word search. That's something I really like to do, is a word search, and I found a snowman winter word search that you can do. And again, in Schoology, there's a folder called Countdown to Winter Break, and in there every day you will be able to, if it's a sheet like this, there'll be a PDF you can send to Notability. And you can complete it. If you want to send it to me or take a picture and send it to me, that'd be great. All right, so we'll start our lesson. And again, you'll see this week or today our lesson is parts of speech. So we're going to review, you're very familiar with, I know, like nouns and verbs, because you've been working on those a long time, but also you've been working on adjectives and adverbs and other parts of speech. So some of this may be review for you, some of it may be new. And I was just going to also suggest that if I'm going through the recording and something is not clear, you can always go back and rewatch and relook or review again the slide that you're not sure of or you need a little bit more extra work. All right, so a noun you'll see is a word that names a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. And so proper nouns name a particular person, place, idea, or thing, and begins with a capital letter. So you'll see up in the top corner, that's a picture of the United States on the big globe. United States should be capitalized. On a calendar, the months of the year are always capitalized. Those are proper nouns. And any kinds of stores that you're going to say, I'm going to go to Walmart or I'm going to Hugo's, make sure that you have a capital letter. Now, there's a picture of a school in the bottom. If you're just referring to school in general, you don't have to capitalize it. But if you say, I'm going to Franklin Middle School, then make sure you capitalize Franklin Middle and School. Now, common nouns do not name a particular person, place, or thing, and you do not need to capitalize it. If you're just saying there are 12 months in a year, you don't have to capitalize months. Or if you're just talking about a girl or a boy, you don't have to capitalize that. All right, so next is pronouns. And this is a word that is used instead of a noun. It is a substitute for a noun. So instead of saying Jim outran the animals, Jim outran the animals again, you don't want to keep repeating it. So I might refer to Jim as he in the next sentence, and the animals, I would refer to them as them. Again, if you're writing a paragraph, you don't want to keep using that same person's name. So if it's a boy, you would name a he or a him or a his. If you're talking about a girl, you have to name the person first so we know who you're talking about, but then you can use a pronoun like she or her or hers. And if it's not a boy or a girl and it just refers to something in general like a thing, then you can call it it. All right? All right, the next part of speech is verb. And the verb is a main word in the predicate of the sentence that expresses the action or being. We always say in the sentence, what's the action word? What can you do in that sentence? So action verbs tell what the subject does, like sing, or run, or jump. Verb phrases are verbs that are made up of more than one word. So it might be, he is studying. So there again, you would use a verb phrase, but really what is he doing? He's studying. Now there's other verbs that are called helping verbs, like he has been studying. She has been running. So I put that little helping verb in front of it, but still the main action would be whatever that your subject is doing, whatever's the action of that sentence. Now, this might be something a little bit new. So a preposition is just really a word that shows the relationship between a noun, like the person, place, or thing in the sentence, and some other word in the sentence. So like I put a picture of me inside the chimney, all right? Mrs. Anderson is in the chimney. It shows the relationship between Mrs. Anderson and where she is. Now, here's kind of a tip, all right? So think about in any way that you could throw a ball would be considered a preposition. So I threw the ball up in the air. I threw the ball down to the ground. I threw the ball in the basket. I threw the ball out of bounds. Or I threw the ball through the window. So again, kind of using that as kind of a tip. So words like up, down, in, out, or through would show a relationship between the noun, the person, place, or thing of the sentence, and something else. Now, an adjective is what you'll be working on in today's assignment, and an adjective is just really a word that describes or modifies a noun or a pronoun. So again, thinking about if the noun is like she is wearing a blue shirt, the adjective would be blue. All right, that gives me a little bit more information. But an adjective can also change the meaning of a whole sentence. So if an adjective, let's say we say it was a boring day. What kind of day was it? Oh, boring. But it can also be an exciting day. So depending on the describing word you use will help the reader understand your message better. An adjective will tell what kind, which one, or how many. Like there are 5 candy bars in the basket. Okay, or it tells which kind. That was a fluffy cat. And then which one? I would like that blue sweatshirt in the window, please. Okay. All right, now an adverb is a word that describes or modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Okay. So usually it can answer these questions. Like how? So if you look at a snail moves slowly. Okay, so it can also, and you'll notice that ly at the end. A lot of times a verb that describes how something is done will end in ly, or to what extent it is being done, like thoroughly. Now I have a picture of me outside shoveling. I'm not real happy, but it can also tell where, and the adverb would be outside, or when, in the winter, or later. Okay, so just kind of keeping it in mind, it gives, again, it answers those questions: how, where, when, and to what extent. Now, the next part of speech is called an interjection. And an interjection is just a word or words that show feeling. If it stands alone, like the word hey, it is followed by an exclamation point. But if it begins a sentence and you use the interjection to show that feeling word and you keep going in that sentence, you would write the word and then make sure you put a comma behind it. So, well, I never knew that. You're just trying to show a little bit more emotion or feeling when you use an interjection. And another part of speech is called conjunction. And a conjunction is just really a word that connects words or groups of words. So you'll notice it says, I am going to the store and by the bank. I'm going to do two things, but I still only put them in one sentence, but I'm going to use a conjunction to bring them together. So conjunctions work like a bridge. All right, so your 8 parts of speech. All right, there are 8 that includes the conjunction. So we have a noun, a pronoun, a verb, a preposition, adjective, adverb, interjections, and conjunction. And again, if you want to go back, you can review any of these slides that you need a little bit more time with, or you have to do a little bit more practice with. Now today you're going to be doing these task cards. There's only 8 of them, and they're what you're going to be doing is filling out this response sheet, this form. Send it to Notability, and then you'll send it to Schoology when you're done with it. And for each of these, you'll see it's a chart. There are 8 cards, so line up your numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 through 8. You're going to find the noun, which is what the sentence is about, the person, place, or thing. You're going to find the action word, and so you can always say like, well, what does it do? Like, is there some action that goes with that? If, again, thinking of it as action and what is happening, what is that noun doing? That would be your verb. And then the adjective is going to describe something. And remember, it's like how many, what kind, those kind of things will help you remember what an adjective is. So you'll just fill in the response form, send it to Notability, and then attach it to the assignment, and I'll take a peek at it. All right, so again, your last thing to do for today, week 12, day 1, make sure holiday activity 3 is done, especially by Friday. You'll have yours 20 minutes of software and then your independent reading. So what I'm going to have you do is, again, reach out to me if you need any help, if you have to make a plan because you have some missing workout. I do prefer that you give me a call or send me an email. I can always give you a call from school. But let's get things taken care of so it doesn't get out of hand. All right. Have fun with today's assignment. Don't get too worried if you're struggling with it. Just honestly, just do your best, and I will be happy with that. All right. Have a great day.